people probably don't understand how difficult it is to get into a podcast chart, stay in a podcast chart, let alone get to the point of knocking Joe Rogan off his top spot.
What I thought I was, like, building a wagon in my garage, and it became like a rocket ship, you know, and then it was like, "Oh my gosh, like, we have to build this rocket ship as it's blasting off." It's just an exciting time to be on this planet and be a part of it all. And and it's not like I don't wanna not really, make the most I can out of this moment, you know? So I wanna make sure to, like, okay, if people are listening, I wanna make a season 2 that is worthy of their ears and their minds and their hearts. For many people, it's like that's a secret that's been hidden in plain sight that many people have been talking about for years, be it scientists, be it experiencers. Is it consciousness playing with us in some way? Is it we don't know. But in a similar way, for decades, you know, parents, teachers, paraprofessionals, therapists, principals, siblings, rabbis, ministers, all over the world have been experiencing, and scientists, and noting this phenomenon of non-speaking individuals seemingly being able to not just read minds, but have other gifts, you know, and there's been so much confusion around it because the people that are experiencing it, it's not even really about autism as much as it is non-speaking apraxia, which is this mind-body disconnect. Individuals who don't know they have a body sometimes, don't feel their body, don't know where their arm is, don't know where the hand is, and have a very hard time with fine motor skills. I think the number one message now that folks were starting to listen to non-speakers was one of love and unity, that we're all connected. So the people that we focused on in the Telepathy Tape season 1 were non-speakers with apraxia.
After we spoke last time, I had a few listeners get in touch who have children who are either non-verbal or various
Mm,
different conditions or life-limiting conditions. Some of them had passed on, and it's such a difficult subject, I'm sure, to approach because one, you're dealing with children and families that have very difficult circumstances in many cases. It must be difficult for parents for with non-verbal children because they have a want and a craving to have something as simple as a conversation with their child like me. But of course, through what you see in season one, for me
mhm,
personally, there is so much to this that points to this there being a truly genuine, I don't even know if phenomenon is the real word
mm,
to use,
yeah.
because it just seems like something perhaps it's more natural than we realize.
Well, and I think too, right? Like I think a lot of the um, skeptics around spelling have never ever worked with a speller or, met teachers or practitioners who are using the method. And I think it just takes going and sitting with an individual to realize, oh, yes, they're pointing very quickly to the letters. Oh, you can read with your finger? That sounds impossible. You can write by typing dots and someone can read it with their finger. This is not new for a group of people who are missing a sense, be it sight, be it speech, be it hearing, to be told you're not smart, you're not in there, you can't possibly communicate. They find a way to communicate. And this young girl was a non-speaker, and one of the first things she started communicating was medicinal cures of plants, and she says she can hear them via telepathy, that the plants can communicate, or I don't know what's exactly happening, but she was properly identifying people's ailments and then offering herbal cures through like random Chinese herbs like astragalus or something that no one in the family knew about. Oh my god, the sentence is absolutely astounding.
And I think people listening to this or watching this are used to it with the UFO topic, remote viewing, paranormal, if they're into ghosts, Bigfoot, all that kind of stuff. There's always a element of ridicule,
Mhm.
ignorance, lack of understanding, lack of knowledge, stigmatism attached to all of these different subjects.
Season 1 was my effort to bring this quote unquote secret that's been hiding in plain sight to the world, right? And so many of these things were happening with parents um uh all the time. They'd hide Halloween candy, and the second they thought of where it was, their kid would boom to run toward it. Why would we take away their spelling support when we could just put the person sending the cue in a way different room so that no one in the other room knows what the cue is? He had created this triple blind computers thing where like someone, a scientist or the control leader, I mean the study leader, could hit a button and they don't know what's being sent. He describes the video perfectly. He describes the word on the screen. I mean, what is the chance of getting, I mean, it's like quadrillions to one. I can't even imagine the odds of getting that right. The question is no longer what Does telepathy exist? Are these kids capable of it? That's, I think, been settled with the science in the past year.
Telepathy is real.
I realize that I'm on seeing with my eyes, like, all, you know, all that's kinda happening around us, like fake people out that their kids are actually communicating when parents have tried so many things that don't work. They're always walking away from what doesn't work and don't wanna hope. Not everyone will believe. Not everyone believes the earth is round, you know? Um, half Americans didn't believe Trump won an election and half do. Like, there's always gonna be things that people do or don't believe in, um, based on your own worldview, based on the facts that you're consuming, based on what you want to be true or not want to be true. I couldn't hire a staff and have them come around with me. I couldn't hire film crews and have them watch if it was all fake and lies.
A psychic chat room where they can go to, and they're maybe not confined by the bounds that they have physically day to day. But this idea that they aren't alone, that they can go to this place and literally psychically connect with friends who are across cities, countries, that must be really, really a really nice feeling for the parents.
And so the first episode of season 1, um, does not have a non-speaker in it, but it leads into the second episode that does. And one of the stories in that episode is about a young girl who had been talking about many friends that her mom couldn't find. And it was remarkable because so many non-speakers started finding each other, in real life due to their parents trying to validate this. And it was jaw dropping for some of these parents to realize that the hill was real. The idea of them jamming out telepathically in a chat room called the hill is a different thing to wrap your head around.
Listening to anything, podcasts are my go to on a daily basis more than visual.
Spontaneous, urgent, necessary telepathy has been captured to such a degree of accuracy accidentally in a kind of a quote unquote lab setting. No one could censor it or tell us what we had to put in or what we couldn't put in.
And then to say
Mhm.
to a parent, "Oh, can I check and see if your child is psychic? Do you mind?" That must take a lot of time.
And I kept saying to so many of them, Yes, please study this, but it's up to you to earn the trust. It's not up
Mm.
to me to earn your trust." And we had to wait till some found funding. And the other thing that was interesting is once they found funding, I think they realized really quickly they had to not just make, inroads and create relationships that were trusting, not with just non-speakers, but with their parents or with their teachers or with the school or with wherever they're going to do these tests, and that it could take months of figuring out how things work, what makes them tick, to do the trial, and then only then can you do the experiment. And he was like, "I wish I knew how I could help you go to the bathroom quicker." Because it took her 30 minutes. And she's like, "Okay, just ask me." But he's like, "What? I know she can't talk. What is this?" And it was in his mind. And then she went through with like showing him images in his mind, like telepathically, of how to help her go to the bathroom quicker. It seems like some of these abilities, telepathy, um, the ability to like astral project, can turn on most deeply when you lose the faculties of your regular brain. And what does that mean about consciousness? If you believe you're going to do a great job and you have a really good attitude when you're going to go play your basketball game or do your piano recital, you're probably going to do better. The force of love.
And I think, to be fair, and it's probably a different conversation for a different day, a huge aspect of why these types of gifts and abilities are likely suppressed is the fact that they would be weaponized by
Yeah.
modern day.
And I do believe that, the world is conscious and that ideas even have their own consciousness and will, and they are looking for people to help make them manifest. When you truly surrender and kind of let yourself, um, be manhandled by this gift or whatever it is, but by ideas or by inspiration, um, uh, it will show you what it wants to make manifest. Yes, I think most will say that consciousness is fundamental. That the metaphysical world is almost more real than our 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 physical world. They're looking at the screen, but he can see behind it. He can see the inner workings, and he explains it how it all works.